Hey, what's going on?
Hi, friends.
Hey, y'all.
Hey there.
Hello from UNC Greensboro.
Well, we really wish we could personally welcome you to our beautiful campus today.
We're so glad you're here with us virtually.
During this year's open house, there are a ton of opportunities to connect with us.
We have more than 20 info sessions lined up across 3 weeks, all streamed live on our website.
You'll hear from admissions and financial aid staff,
Advisors, professors, and students.
Maybe you'll even see this familiar face.
You can also interact with the panelists in each session by texting us your questions and we'll answer them in real time.
Take some time to explore our website for even more information, like a personalized view book, campus tour signups, and of course, a link to apply.
UNCG is a really special place, and we hope you get to see a glimpse of that during this year's open house.
We're crossing our fingers that you'll get to meet with us face to face sometime really soon. Until then,
Mask up,
Wash your hands,
And go Spartans!
And go Spartans.
go Spartans.
go Spartans.
and go Spartans.
Good afternoon, everyone. We hope you're having an awesome day. I'm really excited to kick off our final live stream session of our virtual open house series. It's been a wild ride, but I'm really glad that you all are here with us today. And here with me today are some of our really awesome students to do a student panel so you can hear from the actual students themselves everything you need to know about UNCG. My name is Corin. I'm one of the admissions counselors here. If you have any questions, be sure to text the number right there at the bottom of your screen, and we'll send it right here to our panelists so they can answer them for you. So I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves, and we're just going to go on the order that I have them on my screen. So we'll go ahead and we'll start out with Trinity. If you want to say your name, your major, your year, and your hometown.
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Trinity Ware and I'm originally from Raleigh, North Carolina. I am a sophomore here studying marketing at UNCG and yeah.
All right, and next up we have Holden.
Hello, everyone. My name is Holden. I'm studying international and global studies at UNCG. I'm a sophomore and I'm from a small town in Western North Carolina called Morganton.
Awesome. Next up we have Sarah.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Perazzi. I am a junior communication studies major from Waxhaw, North Carolina.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Next up, we have our belated birthday friend. This is Hamza. His birthday was yesterday, so everybody say happy birthday, Hamza. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, thank you for the wish. My name is Hamza Changir. I'm a sophomore. My majors are biology and business administration with a concentration in dentistry. And I'm originally from Pakistan, but my hometown in the United States is from Oak Ridge. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Hamza. Next up, we have Deja.
Hi everyone, I am Deja Kenyon. I am the senior communication studies major from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, and last but not least, our other live stream veteran we have with us here today, Megan, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself too.
So hey guys, I am Megan Turner and I am a junior studying finance with a music performance minor, and I am from Cary, North Carolina, right outside of the Raleigh area.
Okay, so now that you have gotten to know all of our panelists with us here today, we're going to dive in and answer any questions that you might have. We have a couple prepared questions as well, just questions that we all get from time to time that we know are common questions that people have. But then anything that you send us, we'll be sure to answer them live here for you. So go ahead and I'll start off. And this is for anybody who wants to answer it. What is campus like on weekends?
I'll go ahead and take that one. So there's tons of stuff always happening on our campus, and even in the town of Greensboro. We actually are about a mile and a half away, about 5 minutes from downtown, and there's tons of stuff going on. Even with COVID, we actually partner with a park called LeBauer Park, and we do movies on the lawn during the warmer months, and it's also COVID friendly. We also have a campus activities and programs office that will create newsletters every weekend, or I think every Thursday, and they'll send it out to every student, and it'll have all the different events that are just happening that weekend. And yeah, so students will always have something to do and really to enjoy on the weekends.
Awesome. This question kind of bounces off of that a little bit because it has to do with what is it like living here in Greensboro. But I think this is a good question for maybe Sarah and Holden because you come from smaller towns. So what is it like living in Greensboro, which is a larger city, coming from a smaller town, especially as a UNCG student?
Yeah, so Greensboro is pretty fun. As Megan mentioned, there's always something to do. Back where I live, I had to travel pretty far to find something fun to do. But here in Greensboro, I can literally just, like, downtown's a mile away. I can walk downtown and find a nice shop to go to, eat some really good cake. There's a really good cake place. So yeah, you can walk basically anywhere to find something to do, or everything's about like a 5 or 10 minute drive away, which I really enjoy because back where I live, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to get to all the fun things. So I really enjoy that.
The fact that UNCG is located so close to downtown is one of the reasons I decided to attend there. Coming from Western North Carolina, like Sarah said, you're far away from everything. And so that was really part of the experience that I wanted to have, was being in a city, and UNCG excels at that.
That is very true. I was telling somebody today, Greensboro literally has everything. So any store, any experience, any restaurant. Sometimes my mom says, I'm coming to Greensboro this weekend. And I think it's because she wants to go to certain stores that we don't have back home. And she just happens to like visit me at the same time. So, I mean, that's a win-win, I guess. She usually buys me lunch, which is good. So we have a question for Hamza, and maybe anybody else who has like a pre-professional program. So Hamza, can you talk a little bit about predentistry, especially within you have 2 majors and your predentistry? So people want to know, what is that like? Is it hard? Is it a lot of work?
So for me, it all depends on what you love and what you are going to go for. Please don't be going into a profession that you don't like. So that's a big thing for me. For me, it was like biology. I started off, and most of like the pre-concentrations, like pre-medical, pre-dentistry, all those, like their courses are going to be similar to your major. If you're doing a biology or a chemistry major, they're like going to be the similar courses, so you don't have to like double work it. And also doing a business major with a pre-business in the whole situation, that is the same exact things. Like the courses are overlapping each other, so it's easier for me to work it out and to work out my schedule. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So this question, this is about housing, so I'm going to send it to Deja because I know Deja has a lot of experience working with housing. So first part of the question is, do I have to live on campus? And the second part of the question is, what is it like to live on campus, especially as like a freshman?
So, no, you do not have to live on campus. UNCG allows their first-year students to commute. We do have a good percentage of students who commute, but we do have a really, really good percentage of students who stay on campus. Coming to UNCG, my first year, I stayed on campus, and it was a great time. There was something always to do, whether that was just sitting at the fountain with my friends, going to certain events hosted by CAP, or just like I said, just exploring UNCG, exploring Greensboro in general. Like Megan mentioned earlier, we have the newsletter, so there's always something going on campus. And this is also allowing you to get closer to the resources that we have, all the offices, the centers, and they're all free for our students, so you have to take advantage of them.
Can you also break down really quickly what CAP is and kind of what they do?
Yeah, so it's the campus activities and programs. So they host a lot of different events on campus for our students. And like I said before, there's always something to do on campus. So they're making sure that there's different events that all students can come to. As you may know, UNCG is pretty diverse. And one of the reasons, or one of the ways that we do show our diversity and inclusivity is making sure that we can provide events for all of our one type of student.
Awesome, thank you. So we now have like a bunch of questions rolling in about housing, so that's great. Can we get a show of hands who has lived or currently is living on campus? So there you go. I know Hamza doesn't live on campus, but that is like a good percentage, especially as first year students. Honestly, I feel like that's a really good representation. We usually have about 80% of our first year students live on campus. So especially students who are more local might commute, but if you're coming from a little bit further away, it's really common to live on campus. I do have another question for anybody who's interested. I think maybe Trinity, because you haven't answered one yet. How do I find a roommate, and like what is that process like?
So we have different ways you can find a roommate. So you can either, I know a lot of people are taking it into their own hands. Maybe they have like UNCG class of whatever class you're going to be, and they like mix and mingle on either like Facebook or Instagram. If you really find someone that you connect with on there, you can definitely room with them. You will end up being like assigned a number, and you guys can put each other's ID in the system, and you guys will be linked together. So that's a way. You can also do our randomization process, which is you will fill out like a form that will tell you maybe about your habits, like if you like to sit in your room but you need to be quiet, or maybe you're like a night owl, or you're like always up at like 5 a.m. I don't know. And you can try to fill a paper out like that, and they'll try to match someone that also has like somewhat similar answers, and then they will put you guys together. So we have a couple options on how you can find a roommate here.
Kind of bouncing off of that again, and like another show of hands, how many of you all did random assignment in some capacity? Great. And was it scary? Was it like the worst experience of your life? No, I hope not. The reason I ask that is a lot of people tend to be a little bit nervous when it comes to random assignment. They're like, oh gosh, like living with somebody I don't know. I did random assignment my very first year. Obviously, Trinity and Holden did as well. I absolutely adored living with my roommate. It was like the best experience ever, especially as a first year student, because I got paired with a sophomore. So she told me everything about campus, and so it was really awesome. Holden, did you want to share a little bit about your experience with your random roommate as well?
Sure. It was a really kind of scary experience at first because you're going into a small space with someone that, well, I had met him before, but in some cases you wouldn't have met them before. And so the fact that I had met them once helps. But we became friends really quickly. We would go eat together. And so it was really nice having just got to campus and not knowing many people, to have one person that I know, and we would go eat together and stuff. So it's really nice. I mean, it's not a scary process to be assigned with a stranger.
Very, very true. So this is a question I want everybody to go and answer, but we'll go in like backwards order from how we introduced ourselves. So we'll start with Megan, and then we'll end with Trinity. So what is one of your favorite UNCG traditions? Because I know we have a whole bunch, but what is your absolute favorite? So sorry, Trinity, if somebody says yours, you're going last. But Megan, you have first pick. So what is your favorite?
So I think Minerva is my favorite, partially because I have a potential of getting good grades out of it, but also because it's really fun to see, especially around the holiday time, all the different stuff students will offer up to Minerva for good grades. I saw a really, really rotten apple the other day in her hand. I saw some pumpkins. I also saw like a little light years thingy from Star Wars. So students will literally give anything to Minerva for good luck. So
very true. The tradition is apples, right? And I saw McDonald's apple pie one time, and I just thought that was really funny. So yeah, you can always leave a McDonald's apple pie if you want to spend the money and then give it to Minerva, I guess. Deja, what is your favorite campus tradition here?
Definitely painting the rock, which means a really awesome way to communicate with the K. I've done it at least 4 times, 2 for student organizations and other 2 for just friends' birthdays. A lot of times we'll do birthday shout outs, clubs or events, anything of that nature. It's just pretty much like our message board on campus to get the message out, whatever it is for students. We only have one rule about it, which is make sure that you don't paint over someone else's artwork in those 24 hours. After the 24 hours is up, it's all yours.
Okay, very good. Hamza, what is your favorite campus tradition?
I'm gonna say the clock because literally, as for being a double major, I'm gonna graduate in 5 years, and I don't want to graduate later than that. Being that the meaning of the clock tower is like if you go under it, you will not graduate on time. And seeing a lot of people, like every student I have seen, respects that tradition. Like unintentionally, they would go around. They know there are like steps around the clock, and they would go around. So I love that tradition. So yeah.
And Sarah?
Hamza took my favorite one, but my second favorite, I guess, would be homecoming. Unfortunately, this year it was online, but it was still a lot of fun. And we usually have like a big bonfire, everybody crowds around it. It's just a lot of fun, and it's just like, it's a good experience to have everybody's there, and we're all having our Spartan pride and Spartan spirit together, all in one spot. My other favorite part about homecoming is homecoming court. They usually do like a talent show. This year I watched part of the talent show, and it was super cool. People sang, people read poems. It was really cool. So I would have to say that's my second favorite because Hamza took my first favorite.
I agree with Sarah. The homecoming bonfire is my favorite tradition on campus, out of a lot that are like runners up, but definitely homecoming bonfire is so much fun. Everyone shows up all bundled up, and then they're all warm because of the bonfire, and there's s'mores and hot chocolate, and everyone's there, and it's just a really cool experience. So Holden, what do you have as your favorite tradition?
I really love reading day. It's
very good.
They set aside a day at the end of the semester before your exams begin where you can just study or not study, and you can go to the caf late at night and eat breakfast, and it's wonderful.
That is very true. I almost forgot about reading day. Reading day was also sleeping day for me when I was in school. I took that day to catch up on sleep, and it was outstanding. So I agree. And Trinity, what is your favorite UNCG tradition?
I do want to give a real shout out to Deja for the rock wall. A1 with that, but second one I'll go with is Storm the Streets, which really kicks off our basketball season. So that's when a whole bunch of UNCG students literally got in the street and we walk to the UNCG Coliseum and we watch a game. So but right before that we might have like tailgating and everyone's like mixing and mingling and stuff like that. So it's a really good way for us to support our athletics and meet some new people.
Very true. I do love Storm the Streets as well. That is a newer tradition, and it's been really cool to see how much it's taken off since it's began. So I'm really excited to see where it is like 10 years from now. I bet the streets are going to be packed. It'll be great. So one of our viewers is coming from a small town, and they're pretty sure they're like the only person from their high school coming to UNCG, and they want to know how you kind of go about making friends on campus, like other organizations or clubs that you've joined, and how did you kind of go about that? And that is up for anybody.
So is it okay if I go first?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm gonna say like coming from my high school, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I wasn't like that socially interactive too with a lot of people. The biggest thing for me was, I'm gonna shout it out, SOAR orientation, SOS. Like that was like a big thing for me, and also like it made me come out of my shell, like a comfortable come out, and I started to meet like new people, my SOS friends and all that. And after that, like along with their friends, I started to meet all other people, and that also like opened up opportunities to getting into different clubs, different organizations, getting to know people in the community, like who is my faculty, who's my staff, and also like professors meetup and all that. So I would say there are, I think, above 250, 300 organizations in UNCG, clubs also included. And literally you can find anything in UNCG. If you do not find the club you want, you can open it up. You just need one more person, and you can just literally go ahead and open up your own club. So I would say clubs are also a big thing where you can go ahead and meet new people at. So, yep.
Very true. Does anybody else have anything to add on to that one?
I can speak to that.
Yeah.
I also was in the same boat. I didn't know anyone at UNCG when I came. And that was one of the wonderful things about living on campus, is that you're constantly around other people. And I would say don't worry about that at all, because there are going to be a ton of other people in the exact same position going to a new school. They don't know anyone, and they're there to make friends and talk to people and have a good experience. So you're not going to be alone if you don't know anyone.
Yeah, and kind of another big thing with that, especially if you're living here on campus, you make friends in your hall just because you're all sharing this space. I made literally all my friends like my very first year, I met by living in my hall. It's also really nice if you forget like a can opener, you don't have to go buy it because I'm sure somebody in your hall will have it. So it's a really awesome way to kind of build like a little family in your hall, and you also meet a lot of friends by just getting involved and like knocking on some doors. Hey, I like your tapestry. That's literally how I made a friend that I had from my first year. Kind of going along with that, we do have a platform called Spartan Connect, which kind of helps you get involved. Does anybody kind of want to share a little bit more about Spartan Connect and kind of how that works?
Yeah, I can actually speak to that. So Spartan Connect is like our online platform for all of our different student organizations and clubs that are housed under our CAP office, which we mentioned was Campus Activities and Programs. And so although some of you guys, you might not have like UNCG credentials, so you can't log in, but there's a ton of public things as well that you can check out. You can see all of our different clubs and a little description about them. You might even be able to reach out to maybe some current student presidents or maybe vice presidents and email them as well through their UNCG email, and maybe learn more about their club. So it's just like an online platform that students can, and also other people can use to find about all the different stuff that we have on campus.
Very good. So Hamza, this is another question about your major, because we have a lot of people who are interested in biology. So what is it like being a biology major? I know that there's lots of like hands-on experience. Is it really lab focused? Is it a lot of like testing or writing? Like, what is it like to be in the classroom?
Awesome. So I would say biology, like at start, I thought it was really going to be difficult and I was going to drop it out, but no, like my first exam, we had like group sessions, like we studied together. We had like tutoring, like if you're not doing good with it, like there are tutors and all that. But it's really, if you really want to go into it, I would say 100% go into it, because it's really easy. And I don't want to say easy, but it's really like nice, and they know, like the professors know what they're doing. And if you have any problems regarding the class, or you're not understanding anything, or some situation comes up, the professors are always there for you. I'm literally gonna emphasize so much on that, because my first semester I was really having difficulties, and I literally reached out to my professor, and he was like, come to my office hours. I went there, and his office hours was for 1 hour, but it would like literally he taught me for 1.5 hours, and that really like hit to me. So I would say biology is lab focused. It is class focused as well. As you proceed, the classes will get on a higher level. But it is a really awesome major. I love it, and it goes on. So yeah, there are hundreds of resources on campus that can help you out with any majors. So yeah.
Very true. I know something really popular, especially within the sciences, is called SIP, or Supplemental Instruction Program. Does anybody kind of want to share a little bit more about how SIP kind of works?
I can discuss SIP. So my freshman year, I took a biology course, and like Hamza was saying, I needed help with the course. And fortunately, I had a way to get help outside of the class, and that was through SIP, or Supplemental Instructional Programming. So how that works is that there's a student who has taken that class before that gets a B+ or higher in the course. They take the course with you again, and then they hold study sessions outside of the course to help you out. I was afraid a lot of the time to ask questions in that class because it was a larger class. So I went to all the study sessions outside that I could to ask my questions. And it was a very valuable experience. And other students came too, and it helped my grade a lot. I passed with an A. I wasn't going to pass with an A, but going to those sessions is super valuable. And the student leader that helps you, they're amazing, because they work directly with the professor, and they can sometimes give you some insight on what the exam might look like and stuff like that. So it's a very valuable experience.
Very true. And then SAP and tutoring and all of those academic programs are free 99. So why wouldn't you use it? Because, you're not paying any extra. I mean, it's in your tuition, but, take advantage of it. It's all there for you to use. So definitely check it out. So we have a question. Has anyone studied abroad or is planning on studying abroad? I think I know at least one person based off of his major. Yeah.
So I was actually supposed to be studying abroad this semester. I was supposed to go to Sweden, but it was canceled. So in place of study abroad, I'm taking a course not on campus, online, that just kind of goes over some things that you might learn having an international experience. But I'm still planning on, if I'm able to, studying abroad again. So I can speak to the process of studying abroad. We have an amazing study abroad center on campus with a faculty. There's so many people who work there who are very knowledgeable about the process, and they can help you along every step of the way. So it might seem intimidating to try and figure out how you're going to get to another school in another country, but they know everything about what they're doing. So it's a really easy process in order to study abroad.
Very, very true. I had the opportunity to study abroad while I was at UNCG. It was one of my favorite things I got to do, and I had never left the country before in my life. And the first time I was leaving the country was to go and live in another country for 8 weeks, which is like obviously intimidating, but I felt super prepared when I got there, and they did a really good job of setting me up. We have 200 different universities for you to pick from, so you can pick the program and the country you want to go to that works the best with your major. If you really want to learn and take classes in another language, the study abroad office can help place you in those programs. So it's a really valuable experience, and if you're even slightly interested, I say go for it. Put yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, and I feel like it'll be a really rewarding process for you. So we have a lot of questions talking about like classes and like what they're like, because a lot of students are in AP classes and they want to know like their teachers say all the time, this is just like a college course, but is that what to expect? Does anybody just want to share about like the rigor of classes and kind of what it's like to be in the classroom?
I will say that they are similar to AP classes in the way that you're going to get more test major assignments compared to like smaller assignments or minor assignments. I kind of talked with my brother now. He's a high school, and before he was like, oh, I don't need to study, I don't need to do this. He got to junior year with them AP classes and he was like, okay, I do need to study. And that's what I was telling him. When you get to college and you're taking certain classes, especially those general education courses, they may be a little bit more difficult than the experience that you had in high school. And that's just because maybe you have a short amount of time to go ahead and get the material down pat for that test or for that major assignment. But UNCG does a really good job of giving our students resources. So we have different centers on campus, such as the Math Center, Speaking Center, Writing Center, and they all speak for themselves. One of my favorite centers to use as a communication studies major is the Speaking Center. They have a lot of presentations, speeches, and just oral presentations to do. So you can go there, and with your permission, they will go ahead and record your oral presentation for you, give you some feedback, some just suggestions that you can look forward to or to do. So I think that's a really good center, as well as with other centers as well on campus.
Very true. And kind of a follow-up question to that, open to anybody. How many classes do students normally take in a semester?
So just gonna say that like it depends on the student and how he's gonna go about it in his major. So usually, I can be wrong, somebody can write me out, like for a freshman there's usually like around 15 to 16 credits and all that. But if somebody wants to take higher than that and they think they can take more courses, they can add them on later on in the semester, and that's easily possible through the UNC Genie. But as for me, I was doing a double major. So my first year, I started with 18 credits. They were okay, like awesome with me. I figured out the classes. Now I'm taking 21 credits, and they're fine with me as well. So it all depends on the person who's going to be taking the classes and the rigorous courses, or if you're taking general education courses and all that. So yeah.
Yes, very good point. So when HOMSIS is 15 credits, a typical class has 3 credits. So 15 credit hours would be 5 classes. Usually a lab is 1 credit, so that's where the 1 random credit comes from, is being in a lab. But it really, you can pick and choose. You can go lighter in some semesters and take like 13 or 14. You can go a little bit heavier and take 17 or 18 and kind of space it out. But usually on average, it's about 15, so about 5 classes. So Deja, you're a senior. That is really exciting. You're about to graduate, be in the real world. Can you talk a little bit about how you have been prepared to succeed, any resources you've taken advantage of to make sure that you're prepared for that job search that you're going to be doing soon?
Yeah, so I'm actually working a full-time job now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
So
that. Okay, Deja.
yeah, so it's really good. I work from home as a processing assistant for a mortgage company. It's like data entry. I won't say this is like what I want to do, but it is good for now. Um, but I was able to really succeed in different areas, whether it was in UNCG or outside of UNCG, from using some of the resources that we do have on campus, such as the Career and Professional Development Center. Um, I thought coming into UNCG, like my essay, or not essay, but my resume was like pretty good. It wasn't. It was all right. So I went there. They helped me with my resume. They use a system called VMOC, and it's basically like a grading system for your resume, so it gives you different suggestions and things to make sure that you improve on. So that is a resource that students can use as being a UNCG student, and then also when they graduate as well. So they want to make sure that you are going towards your passion, but then we always say also getting that paycheck too, because that is one of the main reasons why we're here. So I didn't even think really that I was qualified for this job, with my resume being mostly with student affairs. But just being able to articulate what I was doing in each organization or each position, it did show that it had some comparisons or some similarities to just different qualities and traits that you're going to need in the real world.
Very, very good. Thank you for that. So this is going to go to either Trinity or Sarah or Megan. We have some questions about internship opportunities. I think Megan has had internship opportunities, but also if either of the other two of you know how to get some internships or have internship opportunities, if you want to share that. But we'll start with Megan.
So actually, for my internship, they actually reached out to me through my Handshake account. So Handshake is like an online platform very similar to LinkedIn, but it's through UNCG's Career and Professional Development Center that Deja just mentioned. And so it's very similar to LinkedIn, and it's professional LinkedIn, where you're going to be having a profile and searching for different job opportunities in different companies. And so I had recently just updated it with all these different organizations I was a part of. And Northwestern Mutual, which is an insurance and investment company, they actually reached out to me through that and was like, hey, your resume is like spot on because you've been working with career and professional development, and also we love all your involvement, so why don't you apply for our program? And so I went through 3 different stages of applications, and I now have an internship. So I want to say that partially all of that, like my professional resources were from the career and professional development, with sprucing up my resume and my Handshake profile, but also from all these different activities that I've been a part of, being an orientation leader, being a Spartan guide, being a brand ambassador for our Bryan School of Business. So all these different things have kind of like snowballed me into being like a really successful student by just being involved on the campus.
Very good. Sarah or Trinity, anything to add on that?
I'm kind of in the beginning stages of getting an internship, so I do not currently have one, but I'm in the application process for this upcoming summer. And I just want to piggyback off of what the 2 other guys have been saying. And I'm really working closely with the Career and Professional Development Office. I was able to have a one-on-one with them. They were able to really sit down and ask me what I really want to do and what I'm passionate about. And they were helping me really talk through like what the process is going to look like, and very hands-on. And through your resumes, and giving like me mock questions for upcoming interviews and everything. So they've been super, super helpful with trying to connect me to companies with this internship process.
Very good. I do know we also have some programs that have have an internship built into the major. So within your coursework, they help you find an internship that will help kind of move you along in your job search. So that's also something that's really beneficial, because, you're getting course credit for interning. So you are moving along in your degree and you're getting work experience, which we love. So kind of this bounces off to like a next question that we have, but before I ask it, I do want to remind you we're just about halfway through, so don't forget to send in any questions that you might have. The number, I think, is still at the bottom of your screen. So send us any questions. We have just about 30 minutes left, so if you have anything for these awesome panelists, be sure to let us know. But going back to her question, they want to know, is it possible to work as a first-year student on campus? So we'll do a show of hands. How many of you had a job within your first year at UNCG? So that's like, what is that, math? 4. Why did I say math? Anyway, there's 4 of them that had jobs as a first-year student. So Sarah, do you want to talk a little bit about what it's like getting a job as a first year? Is it hard to balance the work and just everything kind of associated with it?
Yeah, so my first job here, my freshman year, was being a part of the Spartan orientation staff, which Hamza talked about earlier. And the process for me to get that job, I used an application that Megan was talking about called Handshake, and I just kind of applied on there. They actually have a filter where you can filter for on-campus jobs. That's what I did, and I saw Spartan orientation staff, and I was like, wow, that looks really fun and a great way to get involved. So I applied and went to the interview process and everything and got the job. Once I got the job, it was a little difficult at first to balance my course load and like the new job and all the training that went on with it. But after like the first 2 weeks, I got a hang of it. That probably happens to like, I see Hamza and Megan shaking their head, nodding their heads, yeah. So for every like student that probably gets a job within their first year, you'll probably have that adjustment period of like 1 or 2 weeks or a couple of weeks getting that coursework down with your job. But it's really manageable and it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to get involved. It's a great way to make some friends, and I recommend it for everybody.
I also want to mention that you don't have to be a work-study student as well. Sometimes we get a lot of questions about that. So you don't have to be a work-study student to get any job. We have tons of different jobs built into also a lot of programs. So you can work within our dining hall. You can work at our Kaplan Center, which is our gym. You can also work at like the library. So we have tons of different departments on campus that students can actually work in as well.
Okay, thank you so much. So this has to do with the Honors College. So I know Holden, you're in the Honors College. Do we have anybody else who has experience with the Honors Program? Deja and Hamza. Okay, cool. So we'll start with Holden, and then if Hamza or Deja want to add anything. But can you kind of talk about the application process and what it's like joining the Honors College for any students who may be interested in doing so?
Sure. So when I was applying to UNCG, I didn't know that the Honors College existed until I got an email saying that I was eligible to apply. And so I didn't have anything to do. I was done filling out college applications. It was one more essay. I figured, why not? It wasn't hard. Actually, it was fun to write. It asked you, I don't remember what the question was, but I found it intriguing. And so I applied and I got in, and that was the best decision that I made in coming to UNCG, was applying to the Honors College. It's a wonderful community within the greater UNCG community. So you'll have like a close-knit group of people. It's like 200 or so people, which is quite small on the campus of, I don't know how many thousands of people are here. So you'll really have a wonderful community of people on campus that you can get to know on a really close level. And it's just a wonderful environment.
Yeah, could anybody who's a part of the Honors College maybe share about some honors level classes and what those are like? Because I know they're a little bit different than like the average class where you're just in Bio 101 or Psych 111. Our honors courses are kind of unique. So if anybody wants to share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I'm actually an Honors College ambassador, and we work with making sure that we are giving the information to prospective students. And so one of the things a lot of students wonder about are the classes. How are they different from just regular UNCG courses? So to give you an example, I took a class called Putting Words to Pictures, and we were actually centered in our Weatherspoon Art Museum, which is an art museum on campus, which is much different than any of the other classes before, because I never had a class in the actual setting or the area that we were focusing on. So it was good to able to see the artwork in real life and walk around the art museum, and we would just piece it together with different literature. So it was a really good course. And another thing that we talk about in the Honors College is play and performance. So in these classes, you're not going to really be in lecture-based courses most of the time. They're going to want you to get up, be active, to be comfortable in different situations. We have something called Monday Play, and this is where students come in and we do a series of different activities and games. And it's just to get, like I said, students to acclimated with other students and just being in different environments and taking the stress out of, being in the class environment.
Okay, thank you so much. So this question is gonna go to Megan. So this student didn't know that you could minor in music. They thought you just had to full major, and now they're really interested. So can you talk about minoring in music and kind of the classes that you take associated with that?
Yeah, so actually I started out on the French horn in high school, and I really loved it. So I really wanted to bring that into my college experience. And so the thing with the music minor is that it is very, very hands off. You really get to do whatever you want. You just have the requirements of achieving a certain amount of credit hours or a certain amount of classes within the music school. And there are literally hundreds that you could do. I always take every semester a class with my own instrument studio, and then I also add in different classes with that. So I've taken a class called Making Music with Computers. Needless to say, I was pretty bad at it, but it was really fun. I've also taken a guitar class, like a Guitar 101, and so you really get to branch out to these other programs other than your own instrument that you're already on. And there is no like audition or practice session. It's really at your own leisure, and you just have to have like a certain amount of credits to achieve that minor. But also, if you don't finish it, it doesn't hold you back from graduating. So it just kind of opens the gates to any music program that you want to take, and you don't have to graduate with it. So yeah.
Kind of a follow-up question to that. If they choose not to minor and they still want to play, are there still options to play in college if they're not a major or a minor?
Yes, so there are options. You would have to actually reach out to the professor that is head of each instrument and reach out to them. But I think the reason why I chose my minor is because it kind of just doesn't hold you back or anything. Because if you were to, let's just say, register for Making Music with Computers or register for like trumpet choir, then you would have to go through some special processes with your advisor and the professor to allow you to be into it. But with the minor, it lets you into it without any like gateways or any issues talking to someone else. So I think that's why I adopted the minor, because it just makes the admissions process and the registering process a little bit easier.
Okay, thank you, Megan. That was really helpful. I learned some stuff there too. So Trinity, you are a sophomore, correct? So you were a freshman last year. So I'm gonna send this to you. Can freshmen have their car on campus?
Yes, you can have your car on campus. All you need is a parking pass. Freshman year, I did not have my car, and I got around just fine. We have a lot of ways to get around here in Greensboro, such as our HEAT buses. So that stands for Higher Education Area Transit, or as well as the Greensboro Transit. Those are all free with your Spartan ID. There are also Lime scooters all around. So I've seen tons of people that will just take those and like ride around downtown or go everywhere. So you can have your car on campus, but it's not a necessity.
Very true. So I know that you mentioned buses and scooters and stuff. So Sarah, can you talk about, is campus walkable? Do you have to get on the bus? Can I walk from class to class if I want to?
Oh, you could definitely walk from class to class. There's no need for a scooter unless you're probably late for class. I've seen people zoom in on the scooters if they're late. But campus is pretty walkable. The farthest I've had to walk is like 10 minutes. That's from one side of the campus to the other side. It's very walkable. It'll take you about 10 to 15 minutes to get from one side to the other.
Very good. Thank you. I definitely have seen many late students hop on a scooter. I like to call them the scoots because they just get on and they scoot where they need to go. And those things go fast. So just be prepared. If you're going to hop on a Lime scooter, you're going to be zooming because they go really quick. So this question, I'll take, because it's about the application process. So yeah, so we are coming up on our very first deadline. So our very first priority deadline is December 1st. So our application process, you can apply to the university at 3 different platforms. So you have Spartan Link, that's our UNCG specific portal. We also have Common App and CFNC in terms of applications as well. It's the same application on all 3 platforms, so whichever you prefer, you can kind of pick and choose. However, either way, you will still be created a Spartan Link account because that's where you're going to view your application decision. So make sure you're checking that. If you call our office and say, did I get in? We'll say, why don't you check Spartan Link? So definitely keep checking Spartan Link for updates on your application. That's also where you'll find out if Honors College reached out to you to apply or anything like that. For the application, you'll obviously need to fill it out completely. You'll submit your application fee, your transcripts. If you have test scores, we're definitely happy to accept them. However, if you're a current senior, we are not requiring test scores for admission because we know a lot of SATs and ACTs got canceled when the world kind of shut down for a little bit. So if you weren't able to take your SAT or ACT before applying, that is okay. For this current academic year, you can still apply for full admission to the university even without those. And then the last part of it is the essay, and it will say optional, but pretend it doesn't say optional, because the essay is a really, really great option for you, because not only does it help us get to know you better, it's going to qualify you for what we call our blue and gold scholarships. So those are our merit-based scholarships that we offer right at the time of admission. So with your admissions offer, you also may qualify to get a good chunk of money just by filling out the essay. Even if you don't qualify for a blue and gold scholarship, the essay helps us get to know you better as well. So we get to know you really holistically rather than just looking at your GPA and your grades and fun stuff like that. We're going to get to know you for you. So maybe you can brag on yourself a little bit, talk about some awards that you've won and why you're really proud of them. You can talk about maybe why you picked the major that you're going into and something you're really passionate about. You can talk about hardships that you've gone through in your life and how it's kind of made you the person you are. Really anything that helps us get to know you. And it's only about 250 to 500 words, which is like a page and a half. And I'm sure all of my students here wish all of their papers for class were a page and a half. So it's really, really short. It's included within the application, so might as well fill it out. It can't do anything except help you, so definitely consider writing that application. And again, like I said before, our first priority deadline is coming up on December 1st. We have a second priority deadline of January 15th, and that's the time to submit everything for honors college and scholarship consideration, and then you have until March 1st to apply for regular admission to the university. So that's a little bit about our admissions process. If you have any other questions about it, be sure to send us a text and I'll be happy to answer it for you. I do have a question about research opportunities, so we'll start with Hamza because I know you likely have done a little bit of undergraduate research, but then anybody else who has participated is welcome to talk about their experience with it as well.
Awesome. So I have done research with not my biology department, but I have done it with the psychology department. They have a lot of researchers on campus, like in the Eberhardt building, and also some are paid. I'm going to tell you that. Like there's like sometimes they'll pay you with Amazon card or something and all that. And it's an awesome opportunity to check those out. Regarding with that, my biology department has research system and it's through Handshake. Like you have to apply through Handshake to get those researches. And if you get selected, you can just go ahead and like they'll let you know and notify you regarding all that. There was one of the research, I forgot the name, literally just slipped out. It's one of the scholarships, and it is an intense scholarship, but it's a research program. I'll tell you the name after like I get through my email, and you just apply for it. And if you get selected, there's like a whole process. You have to have 2 recommendations and a whole research. Why do you want to do this research? What are you going to bring to it? And if you get selected, there are 2 interviews. And after that, you get into the research. I'm literally going to look up the name and I'll let you guys know about it. But also they give out scholarship with our research. So there are different opportunities on campus regarding your majors. You just go ahead and select what the departments provide you with. So yeah. Are
you talking about the McNair scholarship, Hamza? That's
yes,
it. There
yes,
you go. It's
that's
our
the one. Yep.
Yes. It's our McNair Scholars
Yep.
program, and that is a really awesome way. If you're really excited to do research and you apply for McNair, they support you through all of your research endeavors. So thank you, Hamza, for bringing that up. That's a really good point.
No problem.
Does anybody else have any experience with research or being in a lab or a workplace setting like that as a student that they want to share? Going once, going twice. I want to make sure everybody. Cool. Okay. So this is a really funny question to me, and I think it's really good, and we'll share it with everybody. So everybody wants to know, and this is literally the question: how's the food? How's the food? Am I going to starve? Is it good? So,
Okay,
how is the food?
the food is amazing. The CAF was voted as one of the best cafeterias in the entire state, and I'm going to tell you, I very much believe it. When I was on visiting some other colleges, and I would like eat their cafeteria and be like, oh, college food, I don't want to do that for 4 years or whatever. But after I'm not currently on campus right now, but I really miss the CAF, going in every day, and they have an amazing array of food, and it always changes, and it's always good.
Very true. I agree. I want to do, just for fun, a lightning round question, and it'll also kind of offer up some of our dining options. Where is everyone's favorite on-campus dining place? I'll go first. Taco Bell is my favorite. It's like a Mexican Asian fusion place. It sounds weird. It's amazing. Definitely eat there. Trinity, what is your favorite?
My favorite is Happy Bowl. It's how I took away the Glenwood Diner, which used to be my favorite, but Happy Bowl is my favorite, so it kind of has like your hibachi and wings and stuff, so yeah.
Very good. Holden, is your favorite the calf, or do you have another favorite?
My favorite is the CAF, but I will tell you my favorite subsection. So there's the vegetarian section within the CAF, and they always have really good food, stuff that you might not have tried before, and it's one of my favorite places to go.
Very good. Deja, what's your favorite?
I remember freshman year, I would go to the chopstick station all the time. I kind of see it as like a stir fry or like a Mongolian bar, but I used to go there every single day.
Hamza?
I would say I have two favorites, Chick-fil-A and Salsaritas.
I was waiting for somebody to say Chick-fil-A. If I hadn't picked Taco Bell, it would be Chick-fil-A. Sarah, what's your favorite?
So everybody's talking about Happy Bowl or Taco Bell. That's my favorite place, Happy Bowl. But my second favorite place was this burger place in the EUC, our Elliott University Center, called Burger 336. And they actually do a vegetarian burger that is amazing.
Very good. And Megan, what is your favorite place to eat on campus?
So I think my favorite, not necessarily to eat, but is the Starbucks that's connected to our Barnes & Noble bookstore. I have a slight caffeine addiction, might be just a college student thing, but I think I drink coffee from there at least twice a day.
Hey, that's fair. I'm not even in college anymore, and I still have a caffeine addiction, I think. So, one of our parents is actually asking this question, and this is for anybody who's up for it. What advice do you have for juniors and seniors looking at colleges?
So I can talk a little bit about this. My brother is actually a senior in high school right now, and he's looking at colleges. My thing would be to just go on tours and go tour those colleges or universities that you're interested in. My brother's been struggling with the time right now to do that, but he's trying to do that, and I absolutely recommend that. That'll get you to know the campus a little bit more, learn about the campus a little bit more, and you can experience it and see it in real time instead of just looking at pictures or, I don't know, reading. Reading's not the best sometimes, so if you could go to a tour, that would probably be the best thing.
And that is a perfect time for us to plug that our campus tours are back open. So if you want to be able to tour UNCG in person, we are allowing campus tours again. It's going to be you and two guests with one of our Spartan guides, or maybe even two, and they'll show you all around our beautiful campus. And so we're really excited to be offering campus tours back, so you can sign up on our website. Do we have maybe one other person who wants to give a piece of advice to incoming students or juniors and seniors?
Yeah, I would say to think of your non-negotiables. So think of the things such as location, if it's a public, private university, depending on their majors or their programs, all the different aspects that come into play with college. I would just say make sure you think of those. Definitely make sure they have your major. I think a lot of people assume that, oh, they're going to have this major. Some majors aren't really common in just different schools. So you just want to make sure they have everything that's right for you.
That is a very good point. My undergrad major was in fashion marketing. So that is a really awesome program that we have here at UNCG. That's actually what brought me here. But not every school had it. So that was something I really had to consider in the college search. What had a fashion program? And so luckily I found the awesome cars program here at UNCG, but definitely make sure that they do have your major. You're going to be very sad if you end up at a school that doesn't have what you want to major in. So we have just over 5 minutes left. So we're going to go to our final question. This is going to be something that everybody's going to answer. And it's one of my favorite questions because it kind of summarizes like our UNCG experience, especially from your own perspective. But how did you find your way here to UNCG? I'll give you just a second to kind of stew on your answer, and we'll go in the same order that we introduce ourselves. So we'll start with Trinity and we'll end with Megan. So Trinity, how did you find your way here to UNCG?
I found my way here just by going on tours, like Sarah had mentioned. Really touring a place, it really helps you get a feel if you can actually picture yourself there. And I know I could immediately as soon as I took a tour, set foot on campus, everything. Campus is so gorgeous. The people here are so welcoming, and that's really how I found my way here at UNCG.
Awesome. Thank you, Trinity. Holden, how did you find your way here?
So my story is about the same as Trinity. I was probably headed to, I don't know, Chapel Hill or somewhere like that. And UNCG really wasn't on my radar, but I figured, I'd take a tour. And then I stepped on the campus, and then there were the amazing Spartan tour guides who just made a world of a difference in my perspective of the school. And I really felt a sense of community and just a welcoming environment. And I ended up here. And so I would highly encourage you to tour campus.
That is very true, and that's kind of a point that I hear from a lot of our guests, that UNCG is kind of like a hidden gem. You don't know how great it is until you step foot here. So I think it's really awesome that Holden brought that up. Sarah, what about you?
So when I was deciding like colleges to go to and stuff like that, I was not sure of a major yet. I was what we call here at UNCG an exploratory major or an undecided major. And I toured UNCG, and when I was on the tour, our tour guide kept talking about how it's okay to be exploratory. Like it's okay. We can help you find out your major here. We can do this for you. We can do that for you. And the support. Then I came to Destination UNCG, and again, they highlighted all those same things. Like, it's okay to be exploratory. We can help you out find a major and all of that. And I was sold.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. And Hamza.
I'm gonna say the colleges I applied to, I mostly toured every college, but when I came here to UNCG, first thing that really came out to me was we were touring with my tour guide, and one of the students passed us by, and he was like, "This is the best college. You'll love it," and that really made me out. And we went over all the college places and all that. And I really like the diversity and the I can't say that word. The diversity, I'm going to say that. It was so nice and it was so heartwarming. That really sold out to me. And the other thing was my pre-concentration, I really wanted to go for dentistry. And when I literally saw pre-dentistry on the majors, I was like, yeah, literally, I'm just going to go there. So that was the thing for me.
Very cool. Thank you. Deja?
So for me, like everyone else has said, coming to UNCG and experiencing the welcoming environment, the friendly people, that was really what sold me. But then also it was just support that I was getting from different offices and different faculty and staff, other students on campus, and getting involved. That is what really made my experience at UNCG. They say that you want to make sure that you get an experience outside of the classroom, and you can definitely do that here at the university. So my first year, I started as an orientation leader, and after that, the doors just opened up a lot of different opportunities that UNCG was able to grant me with.
Okay, and last but not least, we have Megan.
So I think the thing that brought me here is just it's just what everyone mentioned, is this culture of care that we foster on our campus. It is absolutely like none other. I was very similar to Sarah. Whenever I came to this university, I was exploratory, I was undecided, so I didn't know what I wanted to major in. But the amount of staff, faculty, and even tour guides and current students that reached out to me that said, hey, that's okay, you don't need to know what you want to major in, or hey, it's okay to be nervous to come to college, because that's a big transition. And just the overwhelming help and care that is just kind of exudes from this campus is amazing. I really did not find that anywhere else. And your professors will show you, I think just about every in-person class I have, my professors show me every time that they care. They want me to come to their office hours. They want to meet me more than just another student in their classroom. So just the culture of care that is just fostered on this campus is really what brought me here to UNCG.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Thank you all so much for being a part of our panel today, and thank you so much to all of our students and family members who tuned in. I hope this provided a lot of information for you in your college search. Again, I want to remind you that campus tours are back up, so you can sign up on our website. Also, if you liked what you learned and want to hear even more about academics and student organizations, you can create your very own custom view book. So it's a way to create your very own personalized UNCG pamphlet, basically, that'll have custom information about your majors that you're interested in, introduce you to faculty members, that'll have some student organizations that you can join, and really give you even more information specific to you. So they're really, really awesome, and you can find them at the bottom of our virtual open house page if you scroll all the way down. I want to thank all of our panelists again for joining us today. Trinity, Holden, Sarah, Hamza, Deja, Megan. They are all great examples of what makes our UNCG community so great. So I'm really glad you got to meet them today. We hope you have a great rest of your week and a good weekend. Thank you for tuning in with all of our virtual houses with us, and have a great day. Bye, y'all.